In this use case, the reason for the frequent issues, the timeout policy blocks, and the log-off/log-on routine working are all related to the fact that the ZPA authentication timeout is being hit. When ZPA needs to re-authenticate, the client connector is estranged from all applications and is cut off from the resources on the backend that make the applications work. A primary example of this is the DFS file system, which requires constant access to AD services for continuous validation and access permissions. Since both AD and DFS will be covered under the wildcard FQDN segment, these stop working until the user re-authenticates to ZPA. To address this use case, there are 3 configuration steps that will need to be performed. First, we create a new application segment that only has the AD services and DFS services defined as applications. Then we create a new access policy to include the new application segment created in the previous step. For the last step, we create a new timeout policy with the following settings. First, make sure authentication timeout has Never selected. Under Criteria, select Add Criteria and then Applications. From here, under Application Segments, select the application segment created in the first step. Care must be taken to ensure that the application segments list only AD and DFS services. Adding applications here basically means that once authenticated on initial logon, access to these applications will not need to authenticate again. This is a very powerful tool and should be used surgically.